Hi guys, happy Friday. I'm so glad to see you again, and I have a great project for us today. It's like a bead tapestry. It's almost like beads on snow or something, because we're going to work on a white cerulean background. You're going to love it. It's fun, and we're going to use the crescent that a lot of you guys like to use to do assemblage. And you might be thinking, how do I do that? Because it doesn't have any edges. Well, I'm going to show you how. But before I do, please subscribe to my channel, would you? And give me a like if you like the video. And if you care to say something to me, leave me a comment, because I do respond, okay? Something nice. If you want to contact me about anything else, Bisu at bisuboutiques.com. BSUE at bisuboutiques.com. You can contact me anytime. All right then, thank you so much, and get on over here because I'm going to show you how to do bead tapestry. Okay, so this is what I mean when I say bead tapestry. It's mosaic, but it does, doesn't it? It looks kind of like a tapestry. And it's on this, more free form mount, which I got the number here. It's base 02847 from our website, base 02847. We have lots of them. I always do, and make sure I don't run out. And it's just a lot of little good things on it. It has some little white micro beads on it. It has these little sparkler things. If you can see them, I don't know if she can. Can you zoom up on my sparklers? These are so special. They're vintage Swarovski, and they sparkle like the sun, but they're teeny, itty bitty teeny. And just because they're Swarovski, they are not expensive. We have them at the website. You can pick them up. I'm gonna have to buy more real quick too. By the way, because people like them, so you will too. Anyway, so I have those on there. They're great for the bead mosaic type stuff, so you might want to pick some up for that reason too. I have a set of micro beads here. Some of them are duplicates, but we have them on the site. We have the set. There's 12 bottles, glass bottles, so cute, with a little stopper in it. There's a lot in them, each one, so it's going to last a long time for you, I think. We just got them in. They're very inexpensive. You're going to enjoy using them. And then I have my bead mix. It was out of, I better pour some out. But my bead mix that I made, it was on the site. I don't know how much is left, but I think there's a little. There's the leaves in there, and there's little wheels and sprockets and stuff like that. Cool stuff that you can press down into here. That's what I use. I did use a couple little bugle beads that I don't have here. But, basically you can see what I did. And I did it on white cerulean, so it reminds me kind of like sparklies on snow, So that's what I did with this one, and it came out so nice. In fact, I'll show you my back. First, I spray painted the back, by the way. I spray painted it white. You can, whatever you think is right. I thought that was good because it would blend with the front pretty good. So I did that, and then I did that first, and then you could seal that too if you want. But you can see, it's neat. It follows the curve, and it's not all stuck on here back in the back. You have to watch for that, but you can pick it off in the beginning because it's not dry yet, right? So anyway, so that's what I did. And I used this. And I'm going to show you now how you can make one. Only, I decided this time I'm going to use red cerulean, which is this stuff, which I've talked about before with you guys, and it's real special good stuff, made by Swarovski. It's epoxy resin clay, okay? Works really good for this kind of stuff. We do have it at our website. For time being, we have it. So if you want to get some, lay in a little supply of it, this one looks like, okay? So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to take a little break from you guys for a minute and mix this stuff up, because you've seen me mix it before. And it'll be like watching paint dry. It'll make the video long and blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to go off camera and I'm going to do it. And then we'll come back and I'll show you how to put the cerulean on this base without it just... Okay, guys, so I've got it all mixed up. For those of you who would like to see me mix the cerulean up, if you go back to the bead cuff, the bead tapestry cuff from Bead Mosaic Cuff video, I'm pretty sure I mixed it up there. And there are a couple other videos too where we show that process. But basically, just to reiterate it, you use cerulean, you have to cut it off. You have the hardener, and then you have the color part. What do they call it? Resin. This is the resin, this is the hardener. Okay. You have to have equal batches. So I cut it with like one of these knives here, so it's nice and sharp. And you have to have like almost perfectly even, because if you don't, you know how like when you pour resin, if you get too much of something, you want it to be the hardener, not the resin. Then it'll get hard, but it will set up faster too for you, and you may not want that because you need to work with it. But you want to get it just as perfectly half and half as you can, and then you want to get it mixed up completely the best you can. You don't want any, this is the hardener to show you the spray stuff. You don't want any of that showing anymore when you're doing this. So anyway, so now I have this setting, and you might have noticed with these before, they kind of curve up in the middle. I don't know why they make them like that, but they do. You need to press that down, and that's easily done. Just do it with your thumbs and press that down the best you can, flat as you can. If you want to put a little of that curve back in later, once you get the cerulean on, you can, but I don't normally put it back in. I don't see any reason for it. But anyway, let's start. Let's start putting it on. I do it in parts. I don't put it across the whole thing first. If you want to, you can, especially if you have planned really, really, really well what is going to go on this. But if you kind of want to take your time, make sure you get just the right thing on and all that, you need to do maybe 1/4 of it first and then move on. I usually go up to about here, and then I do the rest. So anyway, I'm just going to show you really easy how I put it on. Okay, so I'll start like right here on the material, and I'm going to press it out on the brass. I'm going to press it out the best I can. Just, you don't want it real thin on, you don't want it real thick on here. Thick enough, but not real thin. So I'm just going to kind of go with the flow, the edge of this brass. It'll just kind of self-cut itself off. Okay, so now you can see, yeah, I know, I covered my hole. I'm going to show you what to do. In a minute you might say, you cover your hole. No, just wait. I found this is the easiest way to do it. So first I'm going to get this stuff on, and I want to make sure that it's not hanging out in the back a lot. One on top. You have to have enough to cover, because this is what's going to hold your stuff on. So you need to get it. So I'm just kind of smushing it out so it's, I like to get it evenly deep, you know, if I can. Just keep smoothing it. Okay, so that's good. That's good. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to apply a little bit more. I'm going to take this off of my finger now, but you might not want to do it because you probably noticed I used red instead of white, because I want to see how this is going to look, because I love red cerulean, but it will really stain your hands and your clothes, so just be very, very careful.
Or wear gloves.
Or wear gloves, which you might say, why don't you have gloves on, Brenda? Because you usually say glove up. Well, I did. When I was first cutting this and mixing it, I did. Okay. But when it gets to this place, the gloves slow me down so bad, I just can't stand it. I have to just get in here. The bad thing about that is one day my friend Peter Twining, who's a mosaic expert in my book, he says, you know, Brenda, I know it's not toxic and all that, but he says you could, if you started doing it a lot, you could end up becoming sensitive to resin of all kinds, because this is a resin epoxy. It has resin in it. You'll know that as soon as you cut it and, you know, start using it, because it smells like resin, big time. Okay, so it says you could get real sensitive to it. You're not allergic to it now, but you could become allergic to it, and that would preclude you from using resin of any kind, which would be really bad for me, because I use resin a lot. I teach resin stuff. So I don't want that to happen to me. But until I find just the right gloves, I'm going to just keep doing this. Now some people say, oh, get that instead of glove. Well, I did. And it works. However, the shelf life just seems to be short to me. And I can't stand the way it feels on my hands. I'm not allergic to it or anything. I just can't stand how it feels on my hands. So I'm going to cover this hole too. That's okay. Don't hurt nothing. Don't hurt nothing. Just keep spreading it. Just spreading it along, trying to keep it, the equal depth. Like, don't have it like too much globbed up on one end and not the other end. You want to keep it pretty, it won't be perfect, but it should be good. So now I have a little bit too much here because I layered the one over the other. So I'm just going to, if you can see, I'm pressing out with my fingers. She's got two cameras up, so you can see what's going on if I get this too close to me because I can't see what I'm doing, and all that. Sometimes I can't, especially on the itty bitty little stuff like this. It can be problematic. Okay. All right, so I got this pretty good. Let's look at the back, see what I have to trim up. I'm going to take this off here. You do that with a knife too. I'll get that off. I didn't have too much trouble. I had it all over me real bad before we came back on from mixing it and working it. Basically, you blend it just like you would polymer clay colors. It's not polymer clay though. I haven't found it to be too much good for anything except putting on, in bezels and brass and stuff like that so that I can embed things in it. But I do like it a lot. Okay, now, of course, I know I have my holes covered. I'm going to stop there. Okay, we got it, right? Okay, so I'm going to stop there and show you how to get the holes open. Okay, so now what I need is a toothpick, which I have some right here. Okay, I need a toothpick and not toothbook. And I'm going to go from the back, and I'm going to just kind of gently push this through so that I can see where I went in the front. I can't really see where I went in the front too good. But I could feel it on my finger. Okay, let's just do it again. I would just twist them. Okay, you have your starter hole. We'll fix that. We'll do a little more with that. This one's a little more fussy. But I've just found the best way to deal with it is just go ahead and cover it and then peel it back. If you find a better way, that's fine. Okay, this is how I do it. This is how I deal with it. I've found doing this saves me more time. It just works for me. So hopefully it'll work for you. So I'm just there, just kind of digging it out. Okay, now I'm going to flip. Being that it was on there is not going to hurt anything. Not hurting anything on the front. We just want to get this good and open down here because you can see what I did down here is I put jump rings through it and hung a tassel, and I'm going to want to do that with this too. Now, if you don't care about that, you just want to you don't want to hang anything from it, then go ahead and cover it and leave it covered. It won't hurt anything. You can do that. So you have that option, If you just feel like I don't think I want to do that, then fine, cover it. I like to hang stuff. I love tassels and dangly things. In case you don't know me yet. Okay, that's good enough for now. When I get to it, I'll probably have to play with it a little bit. That's good enough for now. I've got it open. Now this one, I got to go. See what happens when I push through there, it took some and pushed it off to the side. So I got to get that off. And I go back through one more time so I see where it was. Now I'm starting to get a nice hole. Now you have to be careful. You don't want to rock it like this too much. Very gently if you do. Because it'll push it all out and make it funky on top. Just like when you work with clay. If you do that too much, the hole gets really wonky and you're not going to like it. Okay, this is pretty good. Just take a little extra. You can use your toothpick to get a little extra off too. But you do want to get it, see this I removed a little bit too much of it. You do want to get it all the way to the edge. Because when you finish it, usually I have a lot of little cracks and stuff like that I need to finish up in. I usually use microbeads to do that. So I got to have something to stick them into. So how am I doing here? I think I'll take this off. Don't worry if you get a little scrid up there, staying, it is not going to hurt anything. Not a problem. I don't have to worry about that. And don't worry if you get thumbprints on it, fingerprints, nail mark, whatever. It doesn't matter because you're going to cover it, okay? Now, if you're going to leave this, you know, kind of showing a lot, if you want the color to show a lot, then yeah, you got to worry about it and get it smoothed out, okay? But this, you don't have to. So anyway, so what did I do on this one? I'm going to use this a little bit for a pattern just so we can move along. Okay, so I started out with a leaf. Now, what colors I have? Let's see, where's my bag? I might need, I want to get some stuff that's in the same color, so here, I got these. And I think I told you we have this mix on the site, at least we did the last time I looked. We had maybe 9-10 bags left. I have more stuff coming to make more, so I'm going to try to constantly have this. But it is really handy, and you get a good bit too. Alright, so I'm going to take this, and I'm going to press it. Really, it's the same principles of assemblage, except you're not going to build up high, okay? It's the same principles of assemblage. And let's see, did I bring my pearls out? I thought I did. Here they are. Here they beads. Okay, pearlies are out. I get a few. I just dump them out so that I don't have to stick my thing in there a lot and kind of pollute my stuff. So, okay, so I've got that, and I had, don't worry about that hole, you can fill it. Now, I'm going to take some of these guys. I think I want a little bit of silver. This guy fits pretty good right here. Don't get them into your hole. If a little bit butts up against this, don't even worry about it. It's not an issue at all. Then I have these itty bitty little ones that are in the mix. This is good. That's good. Let's get it down in there. Don't worry if there's a little space in between. I got a way to deal with that, which you're going to learn real quick. Okay, so I've got that on there. And now I think I'll press this. And I want to use this color too, because that looks good with the red, don't you think? I think it's good with the red. I like it. This is my favorite of all those wild ones. We carry these at the website. I'm always running out of them, and I'm always replacing them. But right now, I think I have a pretty good stock of this one, if you like it, too. I got to get this down in here, though. And hopefully it's deep enough. If it isn't deep enough to accommodate a larger piece and make it stick on, you can always put a little bit more cerulean under it to make it stick. Okay, now I got a hole there, but I'll be covering that anyway, so I'm not going to worry about it. We'll just get this much done for now. So now I'm just going to be looking, I'm going to use my tweezers. I love working with tweezers on this stuff. Okay, so I'm just going to look for places that I need to fill. And there's no right or wrong on this. You do it the way it suits you. It's all good. However it suits you and looks balanced to you is fine. It's perfectly, wonderfully fine. Don't fuss about it. There's one thing you don't have to fuss about, is this. Just build it up. Kind of like, you know, when we did the cuff. You're just trying to figure, you know, and if you want to make a pattern to it, you feel free, you know. Think it out and make a pattern, that's great. Sure you show me what you did. I love how those cuffs came out. See, I've got a little scallop here. I could just fill that in with these guys. You need something really tiny for down here. I'm always looking for some kind of tiny thing I can use. I got a little space here too that I can put in. I'm going to use my stick. I hate for that brand to show because they won't let me buy them to sell. So it does work good, but we have pick-me-up tools too, and they work just as good, and they cost a whole lot less, which is always a good thing. Okay, so what did I do now? I put some bugle beads in. I didn't bring any bugle beads in, but I don't need to. I'm good. All right, so pretty soon I'm going to want to put my other bead here. And to do that, I think I'm going to need a little bit more of this stuff, because I'm going to run out for the space placement of it. You know, it won't be like enough. It needs to be kind of up here. Okay, so I'm just going to put a dab more. Always save your little greeblies and your little stuff that rolls off, because, you know, during your project, because you'll use it. You will use it in many ways. So I'm going to take this guy, and I'm going to put him up here. Press them down in. The thicker pieces, you really do have to get them down in, because we're not working very deep on the cerulean here. So you got to be sure it went in. And like I say, if it doesn't, one thing you can do is you can just put a little dot under it. I'm going to put one of these guys here.
A leafy.
Just put a little dot under it, like I did. I added. That's what you got to do. It's very simple. I'm liking how this is looking. Okay, so I got that much. I need to put a few more things. All it is kind of just playing around with it. You know, what looks good? What do you like? What do you want where? And, you know, if you don't like what you got, you can take it off. Just don't let it set up first, because then have fun with that. Cerulean, once you put something in here and it dries, it is going to stay there and not come off. I'm using my little sparklies here. Thought maybe we could do with a few of them. I think should fit in here. I'm going to smooth this over a little bit. Come on.
They're fighting you.
You know, yeah, and sometimes you think something will fit, and nope, it doesn't. I guess I'll have to put him here. I've got other things to put in there. Don't you worry. I have these things, and I don't have these on the site, because they just came in. But they work. They're itty-bitty little sparklers, and they are Swarovski too. They're just a little deeper, so you have to fiddle with them more. Yeah, that fits good. That one worked good. And you have to get them, you know, table side up, or they'll set in crookedy. You won't like that. Sorry, Hobby says I'm getting away. Getting away
You're
from
escaping
myself.
all
I'm
the way
escaping.
to the other way.
Like my little pieces and run away. I don't want to be in your project. I'm not
Kinda
going to
hard
be
to
in your
film.
project. I don't want to be in there. Fine. I got more. But so you can just basically see where I'm going with this. I mean, it's not... I find it to be very relaxing. Now you say, well, this is sticking up a little bit, Brenda, doesn't that bother you? I'll push it down, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. So I'll just keep going like that, building on it, till I get all the way out. And I will put my other bead, you know, about here, you know, for balance. And you don't like these beads on here, then don't use them. Find something else that you like. It just needs to be small. You will do best with things that are 1 to 6 millimeters in size. If you have some little millefeuille beads, that'd be awesome in here. That would look really good. I'm going to go with these for now because I like them and they're what I have. But also another thing you can see, look what happened when I started pressing down. This hole got closed. You need to be aware of that, or you'll get it closed all together, and then you won't be able to push anything down there, okay? Now, one thing that I did on this piece, and I didn't bring any down, but anyway, under here you can see I had put a little piece of rhinestone chain, and there are bits of rhinestone chain in here.
You want to bring it in the frame?
I'm sorry. Yeah, dude. I'm sorry. I hate it when I go back and I see this, and we're talking about something, and I've got it off the frame. You don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, can you see?
Yeah.
Right here under this hole, I got a little bit, like 3 pieces of rhinestone chain, and poked it down there to cover it. And then you can't really see it, but I got my white ballatini stuck down here. That's what makes it sparkly. It's pretty much all covered. You just can't quite see all of it. You might have tiny spaces where you can't fit anything. And that's just how it is. And then another thing I do at the end, I see something I'm missing up to fix. I'll come back across and I'll build it up maybe a little on these, like I do with assemblage. Not too much, but a little bit. See, I got the bead down, the micro beads back in here too.
Do you usually do that with glue?
Yes, E6000. Thank you, Harvey. I put on just, a little bit here and there, not a lot. Just a few pieces. I don't want to get it too high. With the bead tapestry and mosaic, I like it to be pretty much equally high. I don't want to get something way high on it, putting it in. But then I go back and I fill my holes. You know what? That is filled. It's got a little tiny micro bead in it. I thought it was empty. They all got micro beads in them. They're good. Okay, so you can see how I did. Now on this one, for balance and all that, I went like this with the sparklies, down around like this. But I probably should have moved this over here and put one more like in here, because that would have balanced it more, So you got it going like this. You want it to go across, equally. Maybe one in there wouldn't have been bad either. So that's my thoughts on it. I hope you guys can hear me. I hope I'm loud enough. I'm loud enough. She says I am. But that's basically, what I'm looking at. So I'm looking at my other one kind of as a pattern, but I really wouldn't have to. I mean, I've done a lot of assemblage, but I just kind of wanted to get it close to what it had. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this upstairs and I'm going to finish it, and you will see pictures of it in the community section of my channel. When you go to the little toolbar, I think it says home or something, it says videos. When you click on videos, you get all my videos. Come on, all of them. And then there's one next to that, I think it says community. You click on that, I put stuff in there, and you can interact with me there too. Okay, so I put pictures in there. So I'm gonna, when this is done, I'm gonna put picture in there for you to see how it came out when it was done. So you can go back to it, and you can even screenshot it and print it out if you want. That way you'll have like something for you to work from, just like I'm working from my real piece. So if you don't know how to screenshot it, just go on Google and ask. It's not hard. Just screenshot it, save it, print it out. There you got it, right there. And I don't mind a bit. So anyway, that's what I have for you today, and I hope you're going to enjoy it as much as I do. It's relaxing, and the result is really different and really cute. People are definitely going to stop you and say, "Hey, what are you wearing?" So you're gonna love showing them that. Oh, there's one last thing before I sign off that I forgot to show you. Okay, I like to put little pearls in, so I have some. These are like 4mm pearls, and actually that's a little bit big. So I'm putting one in there and pressing down on it. Okay. But just to show you how this works, I put Ballatini. I should call it what people call it now.
Microbeads?
Microbeads.
Yeah.
Same thing. So I get my little microbead, and I take it and I stick it in the cracks. Come on, you. Where'd he go? Oh, I stuck them down in too deep. And that can happen, because they are small. So I get another one.
You could always...
I get another one.
That's really
And I just fill it up with that. Now, I don't want to put too many of those, because I think I might put red ones to kind of fade into it, or I might do gold, or I might mix it up gold silver. So you're going to want to see that. But if you like these little micro beads, and you want, a selection that you can do a lot of stuff with, we have them on the site. You're going to love them. You're going to love them. So anyway, that's what I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you're going to try it. All these things that I'm working with are on my website. All these little parts that I used here, they're in the bead mix, the metal bead mix.
We'll put a link below.
Yeah, we'll put a link. And these little sparklers are on there. And the micro beads are on there. And also the cuff base 02847. And then you can supply your own chain or stuff. Or if you want to, look at the chain section, see if I got something you like. Our bead and link, that's what I want. Bead and link chain would work with this really super good. Then you just pick whatever you want to dangle, and there you go. And you'll be off to making a whole new style for yourself, and you'll be branching out and doing it in great and wonderful different ways. Okay, so I really am going now, so love you all. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll have something again for you real soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.